One of my contacts asked me about a report that really the earthquake should have happened in New York City, and some rabbis convened 30 other rabbis to push it off from New York City onto Haiti. Another respondent asked me how come the Christian missionaries find a way to find the help necessary for people in trouble. We're the Orthodox Jews. All right, so let's deal with these questions. First of all, I don't believe there's such a rabbi or 30 rabbis who went ahead and had the power or the insight from God to divert the earthquake from New York City. I have never heard of any earthquakes around New York City. There have been some tremors in certain parts of the Northeast, but it's not an earthquake-prone area. That's number one. Number two, islands are prone to earthquakes because they were built upon volcanoes, which essentially are places of instability. So the fact that it happened in Haiti, Haiti is more prone to having earthquakes, much more prone, thousands of times more prone than New York City. So I don't believe this story, number one. Number two, if I was a rabbi, I'd ask God not to make an earthquake and not to push it off on some other unfortunate people. To say that the group of rabbis didn't care about the people in Haiti is totally uh, out of the pale of any kind of good taste. And I just told the respondent I don't believe the story. To my Christian missionary friend, um, Christians amount to about 1/3 or 1/4 of the world. There is less than 1/1500th of that in Jewish people. There's between 10 and 13, maybe 14 million Jews in the entire world. So we number one out of 1,500 Christians. That's general Jews. Now, if you haven't been watching, there's an Israeli hospital that's functioning and helping people in Port-au-Prince, while the American hospitals still haven't gotten off the ground. Even though there's a tremendous amount of assets there, they still haven't got their act together. So I would pose to you, Mr. Christian, that the Jews somehow or other have a way, a knack of getting things done. And we're less than 1/1000th of the Christians in the world. And for your information, one of my colleagues from the Dominican Republic is working there and has a group of people working aid from the Dominican Republic into Haiti, and was almost there right away after the earthquake struck, and started raising some funds for the benefits for the activities that he's doing, the humanitarian efforts. We as Orthodox Jews are only 10% of the Jewish population. That makes us 1 out of 15,000 toward you. I believe you don't have any 15,000 workers. My guy, who's only one of many Orthodox Jews who are there, outrepresents your guys on a percentage basis. But let me get this clear to you. I don't know why God chose Haiti as a place for earthquakes. And I don't know why these people have to suffer. They're among the poorest people in the world. And so you would think that poor people shouldn't be the ones that are suffering so terribly. And I have no answer for that. There are times when natural tragedies affect wealthy people in wealthy areas. Poor people, unfortunately, seem to have a larger percentage of the tragedies happening to themselves. They live in unprotected areas, living with scant homes, with difficult construction, and therefore more prone to being injured or killed in such tragedies. That being said, there is a lesson that we can learn from the earthquake in Haiti, and it's a lesson for all of us, and that is we pin our hopes and our beliefs and our futures on things that we think are solid. We invest in solid investments. We have educations, and we think that that's going to lead us to giving us security in this world. And here, people living on top of an island, on top of rock-solid bases for homes, living near the beaches, which with a tremendously wonderful climate, Caribbean climate, uh, no brutal winters, and so on and so forth. This would seem to be, if they could get their act together, this would be an ideal place to live, living on something that's substantial, solid, near the ocean, near tremendous resources, and having a place where people can enjoy life 365 days a year. And that would be the ideal for many people. They would love to live in a place like that if they had financial stability. So here comes an earthquake. The earthquake shakes up the foundations of the earth. The tremors were 6.2 miles beneath the surface. What that tells you is as follows, that the things that appear to be solid are not really that solid. Things that people believe in that really are things that people want to hold on, and they think that that's going to give them protection and give them security in the future. Earthquakes show us that these are not things that we should rely on. We have to rely on our faith in God and our trust in God. Of course, we have to do what we need to do to secure our lives and so on, but that should never be the ultimate trust of our lives, that we put our security in the ground and in the houses and in the physical structures that we make and that we control. And that's one of the reasons why this country is such a wonderful country, that the only country in the world whose currency states, "In God we trust." And this is something that we have to take a lesson from. We have to trust in God, not in the ground, but when we see tragedy, we have to respond. And I truly mean that. We have to respond with our wallets, we have to respond with our actions. Right now, the most difficult thing there is getting the food and the help to the people that are there. So suggestion for any of you out there, one of the most important factors here is that there are looting bands that are there trying to steal the food and the help. And one of the most important things would be to inspire the young people who are out there as a bunch of hoodlums, inspire them to becoming agents for good, in order to see to it that everybody should get the food and the care that they need. We cannot be the policemen of the world. What we need to do is we need to share our commitment to helping other people with the people of Haiti, that they should feel responsible for each other. Same thing is true with Somalia. One of the great problems with Somalian aid and rescue is that there are so many thieves and robbers trying to destroy the distribution of that aid. And so what needs to be done is the education of the masses, that you're trying to help, that we're all in this together, and we need to help each other. You and I have to teach them to help one another.